about what was really happening in the Bell of Muon, because most viewers had it exactly backwards from the start. Kenji Ota had to turn his back to the sea and let the monk pass without looking. Because Muon was never a curse, he was an unfinished ceremony, waiting 400 years for the one person who could complete it. Most viewers saw these as folklore decoration. They are the visual definition of Muon himself, a face with nothing in the center. Every circle in the harbor is a portrait of what he is, a ritual that lost its completeness the moment it was interrupted. The photographs don't blur because Muon is attacking Kenji. They blur because the forgetting is already happening, and it is happening in the same direction as the photographs. Every time you see a face less clearly in the photographs, Kenji is also seeing it less clearly in his mind. He was not hunting. Look at the direction he walks, always the same, always toward the Nashi dog, not toward people, not toward the village, toward the dog where he drowned. He has been making the same walk every night for 400 years because the ceremony requires him to reach that dog and be released. This is the horror rule confirmed. Kenji saw Muon the previous night and one face disappeared. But notice, not a random face, Taichi, his oldest friend. The forgetting is not random. It takes the faces you have known longest and most deeply. The record says, ritual interrupted, monk drowned, ritual incomplete. This is the recontextualization moment. Everything about Muon changes here. He is not a ghost seeking revenge. He is a ceremony that was stopped in the middle, like a sentence that was never finished. And for dedicated solvers, the day numbers and the dated entries 12, 5, 20, 8, 9, 13, 16, 1, 19, 19 correspond to alphabet positions spelling, let him pass. The answer was in the records the entire time. 7 mornings, 7 pieces of cloth, dry despite the harbor. This is the departure signature, evidence that Muon came, walked toward the dock, and left without completing what he came to do. The cloth is not a threat. It is a record of 7 failed attempts at an ending. This is the dread clock reaching its end. Not just photographs blurring, but Kenji writing her face from memory and still losing it. When the narration says, "I cannot find her," he is not describing grief. He is describing the specific physical experience of a face leaving the mind mid-sentence. 3 lines. Written before the father forgot Kenji's face. This is the solution instruction. But it was written as an act of love, not as a puzzle clue. Even if you hear her name, the father knew Muon would use the last thing Kenji was holding. The note is written by someone who loved his son enough to tell him to let go of his daughter. Most viewers tried to silence the bell. It seemed logical. The fisherman's text said to wrap it in salt. But if the bell could be silenced, why had 400 years of fishermen never tried? Because the bell is not the source of anything. It is the proof that the ritual was never finished. It can only ring when the ritual ends, not before. Attacking the bell is attacking evidence, not the problem.